Guy just talked about fellowship, the importance of it. The fellowship of the ring, Sam and Frodo. You have a Sam in your life? You have a Frodo? I can't carry it for you, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you. Sometimes you cannot carry the cross that someone is bearing, but you can carry the one that's carrying the cross. Isn't that what friendship is really about? I can't carry the cross you're carrying, but I can carry you. And you ever see people in the hospital holding their loved one, their friend, their mother, their father, their grandmother, their grandfather, their wife, their husband, their child, especially people who have children in the cancer center. My voice is a little tough this morning, so forgive me for the way it sounds. But listen, love is very beautiful. It's not sexual. It's not a commodity. It's not material. It's just beautiful and it's pure. And you can always tell when someone loves you. And I know some of you, you talk about you fight with your wife all the time and you love each other. Well, I have to help you with that a little bit. That's called a dysfunctional relationship. There's something wrong with that love. Oh, there's love there for sure, but there's something wrong with that love. Love doesn't like tension. Love does not like stress. That's a dysfunctional. It's like wanting to feel high in life, but only through drugs. You can feel high in life without drugs. You can be happy in life without a new car or fur coat. And oftentimes, you will find, if you really look at people, love sometimes is like a money pit. You're putting money into something that isn't worth putting money into. You're giving your time to someone that isn't worth giving your time to. You're spinning your wheels. You're going out of the way. You're doing all you can to repair a relationship. You reach out. You do everything you can. And it doesn't seem to be reciprocated. You call, they don't call. You text, they don't text. You write, they don't write. And they don't visit. And it's hard sometimes to see love because you know that they're calling somebody, they're texting somebody, or they're visiting somebody. They're spending their time somewhere. It's just not with you. They're spending their money somewhere, but it's not with you. In fact, the saddest part of that is you have a loving wife at home. Some of you, not all of you. Some of you, I wish you had a loving wife, but you don't. You have a loving wife at home, but you still go out to the prostitute or the secretary in the office. You have no reason to do that. There's no reason. You see, betrayal does not need a reason. Dysfunction does not need a reason. You have no reason. I get some of you have reason. Doesn't make it right, but some of you do have a reason. But with or without the reason, you'll choose something lesser rather than something greater. You'd rather throw your time away rather than give your time where it should be given. You'd rather throw your money away rather than invest it and give it to something good in God. And many times you're spending your money buying something nice for somebody because you really mean it from your heart. And you're giving it to someone who doesn't really appreciate it. And that's the worst thing. making a meal for somebody that doesn't show up, doing something for somebody and they don't appreciate it. It's more about the food than about the person that made it. You ever been in a situation like that? People are more excited about what you gave them than you, the one who gave it to them. More about the gift than the giver of the gift. More about the creature than the creator. You know, we hear about a lot of women. They love to get the fur coats and the minks and the diamond rings, and they brag about it. They brag about it. But is it really the ring or the diamond, the mink coat? No. It's the one that gave it to you. And oftentimes in divorce, I want to keep the mink coat. They fight about the ring. I want to keep that ring. Why do you want to keep that ring? It doesn't even make sense. That ring has no value except that the man that gave it to you loves you. Because it wasn't about the man that gave it to you. And why would you want to keep it? It's a reminder of the one that you want to divorce now. You hate the guy. You're trying to get all you can out of him. But I want this and I want that. Why do you want the thing that reminds you of the thing that apparently you hate? You see, we don't put the value on the person. We only put the value on what material things they can give you. That's not love. That's a business deal gone wrong, but that's not love. See, that ring only has value because of the person, and it wouldn't even matter how much the ring cost. It wouldn't matter how much the ring cost. It's priceless either way. It's not what he paid for it or what she paid for it. It's the one who gave it to you. And that way, you never lose sight to talk about how much you gave or how cheap something was. Because that's never the issue. How much you give, you can't give enough. How much time you spent, I wasted all my time. What do you mean you wasted all of your time? If you wasted all of your time, it's because you did not value it and because you didn't take advantage. Especially you didn't value it. 10 minutes in the presence of someone full of love and wisdom is more than 10 years spending your life in drugs, drinking, sexual promiscuity, racing cars, surfing, whatever your poison is. 10 minutes in the presence of true love and true wisdom. You can't put a price on that. But yet many of you do. So you have to understand that. Nothing wrong with giving gifts. Why don't you try giving the gift to the right person? Nothing wrong with buying diamond rings, fur coats. But Lord, I pray that the one who receives it isn't looking at the diamond ring or the fur coat, but is looking at you, the one who gave it. Because it has no value without that. You can always tell when someone gives you something with so much love, it makes you nervous to even receive it. That's somebody who took the time to give something. And I'm not talking about somebody who's giving it in the wrong spirit, giving it to use it against you. You have to reject those kinds of gifts. But when someone is giving you something and you don't take the time to look in their eyes and hear their voice and see it's coming from a hand that worked for it, that went out and looked for it. They didn't just buy anything. They went to 4 or 5 different stores, especially when they've had it engraved or especially made for you. Someone who made a homemade cake for you, a homemade pizza for you, a homemade pie, a homemade anything. They wrote a special poem for you. Special. And Papa made a homemade planet with a lot of homemade toys and joys for us, and gave us each other. Love. Just love. Know where it is. Know how to invest in it. Try to pick the right place to sow your seeds of love. Invest in the right things and the right people. Spend the right time in the right places with love and those who love you. Love God.